please rise for that.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our Amherst Town Board work session for Monday, November 13th, 2023. And first, we will start with the pledge. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you very much. So today, we're going to have our town attorney and also some of his other town attorneys discuss the public hearing on the town board meeting agenda tonight about revisions being made to the town code about historic preservation. So Nora Robshaw, I think, is one of our presenters. So welcome to the podium. And then is James Quinn here or anybody else from planning? So thank you very much. There you go.
Town Board, good afternoon. Actually, so I just wanted to take this moment in the work session to actually clarify a few things for this evening. We're actually not going to go through the presentation just now. We'll save that for this evening. But we wanted to let you know that the commission was intended to have representation for tonight. That's not going to happen. One our members was under the weather. In any case, we'd ask that you hold the public hearing open so that we can not only receive public comments and transmit those to the commission so that they can respond, but so you can also give us time to draft up a resolution for a decision date, and then also have a memo for a seeker memo prepared for that decision date when it comes. But yeah, I just wanted to clarify. So we'll be open to receive questions. My colleague Nora, she's deputy attorney. This was actually something that was the former deputy attorney's project, who has since retired. So we will be happy to present the changes that were being made or recommended to the law, but we just wanted to clarify that we were not on the working groups, and we weren't the ones making the recommendations. So if there are specific questions, the best we can do is make sure that those questions get to the commission and they can be responded to appropriately. But we just wanted to kind of take this moment to kind of let you know and give you a clarification for this evening. And that's, unless you wanted to add, Nora.
I have nothing else to add. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I'm liaison to historic preservation, and I was part of the work group to look at this, and I can say they worked on it for at least a year and a half, so they've exhaustively, taken a really hard, diligent look at this. And just want to acknowledge Ann Demopoulos. She worked on it, and now she has since retired. Now we are ably represented by Nora Robshaw, and I know there's a lot to come into because it's just so dense, and there's so much there that you have to understand the meaning of it. So we appreciate everybody's efforts, and James is always at our HPC meetings and tries to keep us on track. So I'm very grateful for the help that you have given us. And we'll look forward to the presentation tonight, unless anybody would have a question like right now that they could research between now and the evening meeting. Anybody?
This is the
Historic preservation changes to the town code.
oh, that's different. Okay.
The second public hearing for tonight. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So then, as far as the rest of the work session, we will be taking care of town board meeting agenda items. So, first, just a little bit of just getting ourselves prepared for tonight. Resolution 909 is the Meyer Road parking restriction. So that is a public hearing, and I'm assuming someone from engineering will be doing that, perhaps Chris Schregel. Do we know if someone will be presenting? Okay, okay, so thank you. And then the next one is 910, local law amending chapter 121, historic preservation. And we just had Nora and James Quinn here to just brief us a little bit about that. So they will be presenting tonight. And then the next public hearing is number 911, and it's local law to amend chapter 203 of the town code. zoning ordinance amendment, auxiliary dwelling units. And I believe that Lori Stillwell will be presenting, and Dan Ulatowski. Okay, Lori and Dan. Okay, okay. Okay, so that's going to be what we do tonight. So, the next would be looking at some of our agenda items and to see if they would be appropriate for our consent agenda. So the first one is Resolution 2023-912, appointment of 2024 Board of Assessment Review temporary members. And that is my resolution. It's under my report. I was working on this with Emily, our town assessor, Emily Murphy, and she is recommending that we appoint 12 temporary board members to serve a term from November 1st, 2023 through October 31st, 2024. And these are all people who have experience in real estate valuation and are also Amherst residents. And they are Michael Amoroso, Dale Kaddish, Brett Llewellyn, Jim O'Donnell, Kelly Rehack, Joseph Rosenhan, Michael Schwartz, Vincent Smith, Aaron Stanley, Ann Terranova, Richard Vandetti, and Cheryl Walfrand. So are there any objections to consent for this item? Okay, okay, thank you very much. And next, Councilmember Berger.
Well, I have two items. I have a resolution for the Knox program, that we purchase additional Knox locks not to exceed $8,000 from the Avoidable Alarm Fund. And anybody have questions?
Okay, any objection to consent? Okay, we're good, thank you.
And I have an appointment of Sarah Schultz to the Climate Smart Communities Task Force. It's just a continuation of her work on energy.
Okay. Any objection to consent? Okay, thank you, Councilmember Berger, appreciate your work. Next, Councilmember Zucala.
Yes. Distinguished board members, there is $165 million in funding available for the Transportation Alternatives Program. I won't read the entire resolution. But we are recommending that the Amherst Town Board should support recommending for a CMAQ application to improve traffic flow for the pedestrian accommodations at the intersection of Bailey Avenue and Maple Road. And we're committing for providing a minimum 20% matching future capital improvement funding for the use of mitigation fees. Any questions?
We're all good. Any objection to consent? Okay, thank you very much. Okay. So the next resolution is under Town Attorney, Resolution 2023-916, J.C. Penney Property Acquisition Determination and Findings. And in consultation with our Town Attorney, he is asking us to consider this particular resolution tonight, and we will have a roll call vote. Okay? So, gotta do a few pages after this. So, next we have Resolution 2023-917, 2024 Fire Protection District's contracts, and they're asking us to set the public hearing for December 18th. Any objection to consent? Okay, that's good. Okay, Resolution 2023-918, License Agreement, 110 Hunt Club Circle, Briganti Prinsloo, CRS 4505. This is for a request for a fence in a public drainage easement. Any questions? Any objection to consent? Okay, thank you. Next, Resolution 2023-919, Town of Amherst v. Roeder et al., property damage release. Any questions on that one? Okay, any objection to consent? Okay, thank you. Next, Resolution 920, Second Amendment, extension of contract with bond counsel. The original CRS was 1821. The extension CRS is 4395, and this is with Harris Beach to go from January 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 2025. Are there any questions? Okay, any objection to consent? Okay, thank you. Resolution 2023-921, settlement agreement, CRS 4416. Any questions? Any objections to consent? Okay, moving along, Resolution 2023-922, settlement of Article 7 matters, Sheridan Properties 1 LLC, also known as 4020 Sheridan Drive versus Town of Amherst. Any questions? Any objections to consent? Okay, thank you. Next is Resolution 2023-923, settlement of Article 7 matter, Key Bank National Association versus Town of Amherst. Any questions? Any objection to consent? Okay, thank you. Next one, Resolution 2023-924, settlement of Article 7 matter, Brazo Kutia Building versus Town of Amherst. Any questions or objections to consent? Okay, moving along. Okay, Resolution 2023-925, settlement of Article 7 matter, JRT Singh Properties LLC versus Town of Amherst. Any questions, objections to consent? Okay, thank you. Resolution 2023-926, settlement of Article 7 matter, DeVere Mortgage Corporation doing business as Hunt Mortgage versus Town of Amherst. Any questions? Any objections to consent? Okay, thank you. Resolution 2023-927, settlement of Article 7 matter, Amherst Properties LLC versus Town of Amherst. Any questions? Any objection to consent? Okay. Next, under Town Clerk, Resolution 2023-928, Laserfish Cloud Professional Tier Enterprise Content Management System, CRS 4417. Any questions? Any objection to consent? Okay, thank you. Moving along. Resolution 2023-929, amusement license for Benderson Development. This is for an event on Saturday, December 16th, 2023, for their Niagara Falls Boulevard location. It's Christmas caroling from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Any questions or objections to consent? Okay, thank you. Moving along. Okay, next is Resolution 2023-930, new firefighter for Getzville Fire Company. The person resides in the district. Any questions or concerns or objections to consent? Okay, thank you. Okay, now we're moving under Comptroller, Resolution 2023-931, budget transfers and amendments. Any objections to consent? Okay. Resolution 2023-932, T3030 open space transfer for 143 Kenmore Avenue. Any objections to consent? Okay. Under contract compliance, Resolution 2023-933, contract for parts cleaner and used oil filter removal services, CRS 4369. Any objections to consent? Okay. Resolution 2023-934, award bid number 2023045, townwide doors and windows, CRS 4388. Any objections to consent? Okay. Resolution 2023-935, award RFQ 2023-04 golf course architect, CRS number 4408. Any objections to consent? Under court, Resolution 2023-936 is for Elizabeth A. Jernigan, Court Reporting Services, CRS ID 4359. Any objections to consent? Okay. Under Engineering Services, Resolution 2023-937, change order number 1, Gardenville Landscaping and Nursery, Dana Heights Playground for the Town of Amherst, number 2022.024, CRS 4414. Any objections to consent? Okay. Resolution 2023-938, change order number 2 and final quantity adjustment, Nova Site Company, LLC, Gateway Park, Town of Amherst, number 2020.031, CRS number 4415. Any objections to consent? Okay. Resolution 2023-939, change order number 1, the Peyton Barlow Construction, Inc., general contract, rebid of Amherst Community Policing and Training Center restroom and interior renovations, Town of Amherst job 2018.036B, CRS number 4407. Any objections to consent? Okay, next under Highway, Resolution 2023-940, authorize supervisor to sign contract to piggyback Conway Beam Truck Group, CRS 4387. Any objections to consent? Resolution 2023-941, authorize supervisor to sign contract to piggyback Northern Supply Company in Erie County, CRS 4403. Any objections to consent? Next one is Resolution 2023-942, authorize the purchase of one Kubota tractor with Land Pride mower attachment, CRS number 4410. Any objections to consent? Resolution 2023-943, approval of agreement, State University of New York at Buffalo, CRS 4412. Any objections to consent? Okay, next under Human Resources, Resolution 2023-944, Recreation Attendant, part-time, Youth and Recreation, 3 positions. This one is for $15 an hour. Any objections to consent? Next one is Resolution 2023-945, Recreation Attendant, part-time, Youth and Recreation, 2 positions at $15.50 an hour. Any objections to consent? Okay. Resolution 2023-946, again, Recreation Attendant, part-time, Youth and Recreation. This is for $17.10 an hour. Any objections to consent? Okay. Resolution 2023-947, Clerk Typist Court. It's a promotion for someone who's already working for the courts. Any objections to consent? Okay. Information Technology, Resolution 2023-948, Advanced 2000 Statement of Work, CRS 4318. Any objections to consent? Okay. Next, Police, Resolution 2023-949, Memorandum of Understanding, Use of Amherst Police Department Community Policing and Training Facility by the United States Customs and Border Protection, Air and Marine Operations, CRS number 4360. Any objections to consent? Okay. Resolution 2023-950, Davis Ulmer Fire Protection, CRS 4354, installation of new smoke detector in Tech Services Office. Any objections to consent? Okay. Next, 2023-951, GP Flooring Solutions, CRS 4356 Bailey Bathroom Project Hallway Flooring Replacement. Any objections to consent? Okay. Senior Services, Resolution 2023-952, S.J. McCullough, Inc., CRS 4384. This is for coffee and tea products, and it goes from December 8th, 2023 to December 8th, 2024. Any objections to consent? Okay. Next, Sewer Plant 16. WPCF Odor Eliminator Procurement Chemmasters, Inc., CRS number 4381. Any objections to consent? Okay. Resolution 2023-943, approval of agreement, 954, just a minute. 954, Erie County Piggyback Kenyon Pipeline Inspection LLC Cured in Place Pipe Lining Services, CRS number 4378. Any objections to consent? Okay. And next would be communications. So communication 2023-123, request for public hearing,
And-
1350 Eggert Road.
Right, and this is the one that they didn't think there was room on December 4th, but there is, so we'd like it to be scheduled for December 4th.
Okay.
The 4th, so we can, the current board can vote on it before the end of the year.
So then, I believe that this would be a receive and file and set a date to reopen the public hearing to December 4th.
We never opened the public hearing last time. No, Brian adjourned it before the meeting even began. We never held it.
This is 1350 Eggert Road.
Yes. What does the letter say? I mean, Mr. Hopkins is here.
It was, what?
Wasn't it opened? There was a hearing.
No,
was a-
there was
There
no
was a
hearing.
hearing.
No, there
Sean presented.
was.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
Mr. Hopkins, can you help clarify?
There was a hearing, and it was adjourned, so the hearing needs to be reopened.
There was a hearing, but there wasn't a presentation, so I think, per Tim's comment, I don't believe the neighbors need to be notified. And I would also note, you'll see in the communications.
Supervisor did say that residents would be notified.
Okay, we also did, we held an informational meeting with residents, and they're all aware of the status, so.
Okay,
But the
so we'll reopen it
on December 4th.
on December 4th.
So would it be correct then to say to receive and file and set a date to reopen the public hearing to December 4th?
Yep. And again, as
agree.
Tim indicated, the supervisor requested that neighbors get notice again. Thank you.
So we're good?
Yep.
So any objection to consent on that method of handling this? Okay? Okay, thank you. So next, communication 2023-124. This is Regency Builders LLC, 166 Klein Road, residential subdivision. Here, they made a request, and I would recommend that we receive and file and grant the request to place the Regency Builders matter on the December 4th work session agenda. Okay?
That was set in conjunction with Brian.
Okay, so any objection to consent on that? Okay. Communication 2023-125, correspondence from Sean Hopkins, ESQ, 1350 Eggert Road. And basically, Mr. Hopkins is giving us an update about different matters and things that were done about this parcel. So I would suggest we refer this to building, planning, engineering, and the town attorney. Any objections to consent? Okay. Next would be communication 2023-126. Again, correspondence from Sean Hopkins, ESQ, but this time regarding 2350 Sweet Home Road. And so I would recommend that we receive and file and set a date to reopen the public hearing to Monday, December 4th at 7 p.m. Does that sound correct to all parties?
That had a public hearing that also remained open. No, it was adjourned also.
I was under the impression we closed this
On
one,
this matter, you did close the public hearing previously.
and we were just waiting to vote on it.
It was adjourned August 21st without closing it.
Oh, is that correct?
We
I
did,
thought,
we looked this up to try to determine whether it was closed or adjourned, just to be correct, so.
I thought the public hearing was closed at the previous meeting, but maybe not. Testing my memory.
More
More
information.
information from the vantage
Yes.
point
It was,
of.
yeah.
Yes, about the windows. Yes.
Additional, it was adjourned with the,
Okay.
yeah, that's,
Okay.
So it'll be a continuation of the public hearing.
Well, I just want to verify, receive and file and set a date to reopen the public hearing to Monday, December 4th at 7 PM.
Sure.
And that's in agreement to all parties, yourself included, Mr. Hopkins? And the town clerk?
Is that correct, Tim? I thought the hearing was closed.
I could have sworn it was closed,
No,
too.
I thought the supervisor had asked for additional information
He did.
regarding the vantage points and the window
He did.
locations in the tree.
Right, which we had already done. The issue that came up during the August meeting is there was a concern raised about the possibility of leasing units to student housing.
Which your correspondence says that that is not
Right.
something you're
So
going to
I thought the hearing
entertain.
had already been closed. I don't know if we can check that agenda.
Well, if
Would have
it,
been the July,
July.
second meeting in July.
he has the documentation to show you.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
No, Brian asked for the additional information, but they came back, we did get it.
We saw the pictures.
Okay, maybe it is still open. So, continuation of the hearing.
Are we good for,
See, look, there's public hearing was closed.
That's the secret public hearing
No, the rezoning public hearing,
on July 24th.
July 20th, 24th. So it couldn't have been reopened at the next meeting because it was already closed.
so what was adjourned, just the decision?
Yeah,
We did not make a decision.
right. The day of the meeting, I was asked to provide some additional information, the day that the decision was scheduled in August.
Yeah, what was adjourned was the developer review action to seek a determination pending adoption of the amendment. The hearing was closed.
Yeah, the hearing is closed.
Adjourned, the two items are involved.
I thought that
I
was.
would suggest that maybe the parties involved just work on this between now and the 7 o'clock meeting.
I think you can,
What can I say?
You can just receive and file it
Okay.
and set it, if the board's agreeable.
A
set
decision
date for
date.
December 4th.
Okay, so what I'll say instead is receive and file and set a decision date to Monday, December 4th at 7 PM. Would
Thank you.
that language be agreeable to you?
That is correct.
Mr. Hopkins, and to our town attorney and to the town clerk? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Receive and file and set a decision date for Monday, December 4th at 7 PM.
Thank
Are
you.
there any other questions, or can we put that on consent? Okay. Okay.
Yes, we will talk to you.
Are we good?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay, next is Communication 2023-127 about Westfield Road speed humps. So this is a letter from additional residents, and I would recommend that we send this to engineering, highway, and to the town attorney. Can we have consent on that? Okay, so then moving along, Communication 2023-128 is a letter regarding a sewer main issue, and I would recommend that we refer this to engineering and to the town attorney. Anybody else? Okay, so then we can put that on consent. Thank you. And then Communications 2023-129, Notice of Claim Mario Avarello versus the Town of Amherst. I'd recommend we send this to the town attorney for review. Any objection to consent? And then Communication 2023-130, verified notice of claim with affirmation and order to show cause, Ally Zenke as parent and natural guardian of IZ, an infant versus Town of Amherst. And I would suggest that we refer that to our town attorney. Any objection to consent? Okay. Okay, well, that covers our town board agenda items. So the only thing that would remain for tonight would be our public hearings, and then also the one resolution under the town attorney about the J.C. Penney matter. So we are all set for now, and we will meet again at 7 o'clock. There are no suspensions that I know of yet at this time for the meeting tonight. So, all in favor to adjourn the work session? Well, aye. Okay, thank you very much for being here. We'll see you